Alright guys, before we begin this podcast like we normally do, we want to take this time to promote a couple of things. So, as usual, we do our usual stuff here. The first thing we're going to promote here is the petition to get the British Bulldog inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. The petition is usually from change.org from our good friends at Team DBS, Team Davey Boy Smith from the UK. Pretty much, once again, it's a petition to get the British Bulldog inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Here's a story behind why they're doing the petition. It's a good story. It's worth a read. And if you want to sign this petition, just go right here to this side of the screen. You put your name, your last name, your email address, your address of where you live in the city. Right here, you could put a fake address. You could put the address to your local pizzeria, your barbershop, or your school, or hell, even your girlfriend's house. It doesn't really matter. As long as you contribute to this and sign this petition, it has, as we speak right now, 3,766 supporters. And all it needs right now is 1,234. It's a really good cause to get the British Bulldog inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I do feel like it needs to happen, whether it be by himself or with the Dynamite Kid as part of the British Bulldogs or with the Hart Foundation with Brett, Owen, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Brian Pillman. But once again, guys, good cause. I strongly recommend you all sign this petition. Link to this will be down below in the description at the conclusion of this podcast. The next thing we want to promote is the Talking Wrestling Network. Myself and Knowledge of Wrestling will be working with this channel real soon. As a matter of fact, episode 1 of the Saturday Night Shoot will be debuting on this channel tomorrow. Pretty much will be your wrestling roundup of everything that happened within the week of professional wrestling. You can see there's a video, Team Heel coming to TRN. And right now, as we speak, they're having a giveaway contest. Pretty much, if you are the 200 subscriber, and this channel gets to 200 subscribers, if you are that 200 subscriber to this channel, you will receive a free poster signed, autograph signed by the man, the icon himself, Sting. And let's be honest, who would not want to get an autographed poster by Sting? I know I would. I know some of you out there might also, now that Sting is in WWE, he's part of 2K15. It's a good stuff to get. It's a good poster. It's something good to subscribe for. A lot of content here. And again, tomorrow, myself, Knowledge of Wrestling debut, the Saturday Night Shoot. So go check it out. And the last thing I want to promote here is marksforlife.net, marksforlife.wix.com. And over here, we got, pretty much is a website where a lot of content creators all get together and post their videos and they share it pretty much. You have here pretty much the shows that we have here is obviously, we have, Marked Up. We have another wrestling podcast. OK Fate, who was our guest last week on last week's show. In the Robe Show, who's currently our guest, Matt from In the Robe Show, and obviously also our good friend, the PW Outsider. So go check out this website and go check out all these other stuff that we just mentioned on this before we begin the show. I started there, I botched, whatever. And again, links to all these stuff will be down below in the description at the end of this podcast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 53 of the TEAMHEEL podcast is officially on the air. Our guest is Matt from In the Robe Show. The TEAMHEEL podcast officially now. All right, guys. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our guest this week is Matt from In the Robe Show. Taking a drink. What's up, Matt?
Nothing much. I'm excited for this podcast. I'm ready to talk some wrestling and shoot some shit with some awesome YWCers.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's been a crazy week. Absolutely. It's been a crazy week that has happened. Obviously, I'm here also with Knowledge of Wrestling and Duo Dreamer, 2K26. Again.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. It's Friday. I got paid. And, yeah, we're almost to SummerSlam.
2 weeks.
2 more weeks, yes. 2 more weeks of the biggest show of the summer. So they say. But it doesn't really feel that way to me, though. It hasn't been feeling that way. I don't know why. This hasn't, to be honest. But again, a crazy week. What the big news that came out this week is pretty much the release of Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big news that happened, yeah.
It's so upsetting. First we get Ricardo gone, and now ADR. What's going to happen next? Is Hunico going to be released from the WWE? then pretty soon they're not going to have any Latino wrestlers. Then what are they going to do when they have a Mexico tour?
That's true, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, to my understanding, when it first came out, I was in shock. Like, what the hell happened here? All right? But at the same time, I'm not surprised at all. I think it was bound to happen. His contract was about to expire anyway. He wasn't going to renew. But to my understanding, it was due to miscode of conduct. Apparently, he had an altercation with an employee. And, again, it's one of those things where, again, he was defending himself. Like, apparently someone insulted him, whatever. But at the same time, you're a professional. You're a professional. You got to know, hey, you know what? I am not signed to a minor league promotion. This is obviously, the major leagues. And I have to act like what they want me to be. So I can't be striking people left and right and shit, or slapping them. In this case, he slapped them. That's a diva move.
Yep.
Slap is a diva move. So it's one of those things where it's a shock. But again, Alberto Del Rio, he came in 2010, late 2010. The guy feuded with Rey Mysterio. His debut match, he beat Rey Mysterio. He took him out. He went to win the Rumble in 2011, and from there, history spoke for itself.
Well, here's the thing. Are you upset that ADR has been released?
It's kind of like mixed in a way. Like, yeah, it sucks what happened, the way it went down. But at the same time, I'm not surprised that it actually, that he's gone now. I'm not surprised. I knew it was bound to happen. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, man. I almost feel like he had nothing left to do in the WWE. I feel like there was nothing left for his character. You had him heel, you had him face, he won the WWE Championship, he won the World Heavyweight Championship, he won the Royal Rumble. There wasn't really anything left for him to accomplish and enough for him to do to put over other wrestlers, because they've already thrown him so down the totem pole that losing or winning a match against ADR doesn't even really mean anything anymore. So I think he's been damaged so much that I think it's better for him to leave the WWE to go to another promotion.
I agree. Maybe I did hear rumors that apparently he will have to go back to AAA, the Mexican promotion where he was before he went to WWE. Apparently this rumor came out of Meltzer. Then again, it's hard to take him serious. Apparently TNA requested his phone number.
Well, here's the thing, man. If you're
I heard about that too.
Dude, if you're a former WWE superstar, you have a golden opportunity and a golden ticket to TNA. You're going to be a WWE or a TNA champion at the end of the year. So he might as well go to TNA. They'll treat him better than they treated him in the WWE.
I see what you mean, but at the same time, it's one of those things where, TNA has that stereotype. That, they bring in the former WWE guys. The guys that they didn't make champions, we'll make them champions. We'll give them the big push. We'll have them outshine our own homegrown guys. Perfect example, Kurt Angle, Bobby Lashley, Rob Van Dam, Christian Cage. Even though Christian to me was the exception. He was the exception.
Yeah, Christian felt like a main eventer in TNA.
Yeah, he did. He did, but still, the last thing you want to do right now if you're TNA is to bring another guy from the other company, because they have their own problems. They have their own issue that they got to get, which we'll talk about later on in this show. But before we move on, Matt, we add this to all our guests. I feel like everyone here has a story and how they got into wrestling. And everyone's story is different. So what is your story? What got you into pro wrestling to become a fan, and what got you into making videos and even in the Robe Show with yourself?
Oh, man. Okay. I feel like a lot of people tell you that they meant to make a video about this, but I meant to make a video, maybe a topic video explaining this. Well, I started watching wrestling around 1998. I was about 6 years old. And I remember there was always this one wrestler that I gravitated towards, and that was Mick Foley as Mankind. And I just found him, there's something about him that just was so fascinating to me, was the level of pain that he could take and the sacrifices that he made to his body to entertain me. And I was rooting for Mick Foley. I was the biggest Mick Foley mark, and I'm still the biggest Mick Foley mark. And when he won the goddamn WWF Championship, and I watched it live on Monday Night Raw, well, it was taped, but when I actually watched it, that's when I realized, holy shit, wrestling to me it's in my blood. And ever since 1998, I've watched nonstop, year after year after year. So as I'm saying now, and as I've always said, I'm a biggest Mick Foley mark, and Mick Foley was the reason I started watching the WWE.
Absolutely.
WWF.
Awesome.
You know, Mick
Awesome.
Foley, you know, I've always said has always been a great storyteller also. You know, he has that
Yes,
ability to make you look good in the ring also.
And how many people can say that they actually had 4 characters that they perfected? He was Mick Foley, Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack. 4 different characters.
And out of those 4
Hey.
guys, who was your most favorite one out of the 4? Like, you had to pick one. Like,
You know why it was Mankind? Because Mankind helped the WWF win the Monday Night Wars, and Mankind won the WWF Championship 3 times, and Mankind, I think they featured him better in the WWF than they did Cactus Jack or Dude Love. You know, but I love me some Dude Love, I'm not going to lie.
don't we all?
Mm-hmm.
So the best, to answer the first part of your question, was Mick Foley. Now, to start with this show, and in the Rope Show, and what started me making videos like this, well, when I was 15, I'm 21 right now. When I was 15, I started making short films on YouTube. There's short films I have, like, and they're all still on YouTube, like a zombie comedy series, whodunit murder mysteries, just, you know, random videos that I thought were entertaining. And then I started backyard wrestling when I was a kid. Yeah, it was me and my friend Brett and my friend Matt. I'm not friends with them anymore. Back in the day, Brett, Matt, and even Zach from In the Rope Show. We used to backyard wrestle with each other, and I used to post the matches on YouTube. So that was something big that I used to do, because I was like, oh, they can do it in the WWE. I can totally do it at home, you know. And we were terrible in the ring, but Zach was actually really good. But anyway, so I used to backyard wrestle, and then the shows I watched, you know, like when I first started watching the YWC was Schlag Daddy and the original Off the Rope Show and British Fist and Chase Oliver. And I used to watch their shows, and then eventually I was like, I want to make my own show. I can fucking do something creative and original and fun, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then, you know, Zach, I used to backyard wrestle with him. I called him up. I was like, hey, man, let's make a fucking wrestling review show. He's like, fucking right. What do you want to call it? I don't know, Inside the Rope Show? Oh, it's not catchy. Oh, In the Rope Show. And then we made a fucking jingle to it and made our theme song. And then I called up Josh, because he actually, I'm a film student at UNO, and he's a film student. I called up Josh, and I was like, you're good with fucking film. You're a new wrestling fan, so let's base this show on me and Zach knowing wrestling from the Attitude Era and you being a new wrestling fan, and let's fucking put a twist on the whole idea of a show. Let's make it a show with intercuts, did you knows, funny skits. Let's involve the YWC, and let's make this shit happen. And we haven't looked back yet, and we're still doing our thing.
Absolutely, man. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's all about having fun. That's what I always say. People sometimes, and I've noticed this a lot, you know, even the new people coming up in the game, you know, they take this too serious, like, oh, it's a job. Like, oh, my God, you know, I'm not going to give up on this, man. You know, this is my job, man. You know, I'm in the morning grind, man, starting my show. I'm like, you got to relax.
Sean.
No. There's someone I know. I'm not going to say his name, but he's up there. But it's like, you got to really calm it down. Like, remember, this is all about fun. Yes, also getting your voice heard, but it's more about, you know, having fun at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's just a hobby. You know what I'm saying? This might not be tomorrow. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If YouTube decides, say, hey, cut this website tomorrow, crap.
And that's the thing, man. When we do our fucking reviews, we don't script anything. We just sit down and we just have 3 funny guys who enjoy wrestling just talk about wrestling, and we just have fun. Like, I never view this as a serious job. I view this as a sense of entertaining myself while at the same time entertaining people that are watching us. You know?
Yeah, of course. Of course, man. And for me, you know, when I started, you know, this, what kind of got me into it were Spinnernet 1 and, yeah, Sean. The guy that, you know, showed his genitalia, yeah, that guy.
Irony.
Yeah, it's the irony. Yeah, the irony about it. Yeah, the irony. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, moving on now. Moving on with this now. Raw this past Monday. It felt more like an infomercial.
All I have to say is I am very thankful that it was a drunk show for us, and I was hammered when I was watching it.
Did you?
Because you are 100% correct. Oh,
Did
this is hookah. If you're
Oh, okay.
curious. This is hookah.
Dang. Okay.
But
I'm
man,
more.
Would you
I'm
think
more
you
of the.
made this Raw a
I'm more of the
drinking game?
I'm more of the tropical tree. I'm all about the tropical tree, man.
the green tobacco.
Yeah, the tropical tree, man. Cook it, smoke it, put it in spaghetti and meatballs. Hey,
That good.
yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny. I find it funny. People complain, "Oh, smoking weed is bad, yo." I have people always tell me, "Oh, smoking weed is bad for you, man. That could kill you." But these same people that tell me this do hookah. I'm like, wait a
Hey,
minute.
you know, if a
What is
fucking
hookah?
weed can kill you, fucking cigarette. You know, weed. I don't know. I guess we can get into it, but like people that say weed is bad are sitting there smoking cigarettes, dying of lung cancer, eating fucking cheeseburgers, dying of obesity. It's like, what's wrong with toking now and then? You know?
Exactly. Is that commercial, like, this is whenever you shower
No,
now.
I hate that commercial.
No, you know what's funnier? You know what's funnier is the one where the guy's trying to buy a pack of cigarettes and he's like, "That's not enough," and then he rips his tooth out.
Oh yeah.
Or the girl that peels her skin off, like,
Yeah.
exactly. But
Yeah.
anywho,
I didn't know
Raw,
we're
it
part of a
felt-
bartering system now. We don't use money. We use our body parts to buy fucking cigarettes.
I'm also a word.
Mm-hmm.
Raw this past Monday, like I said, it felt like a giant infomercial. If they were not promoting the network for $9.99, it was promoting the app. That's for free. If they were promoting the app, that's for free. They were promoting the WWE network. That's for $9.99 a month. But they didn't tell you that. Oh, it's a 6-month commitment, by the way. They didn't tell you that.
It's in that
Okay.
little.
Here's the thing, man. Like,
It's a fine print.
it annoyed a lot of people, and rightfully so, because it, in a way, almost distracted some people from the show. The way I viewed it was, I thought it was kind of entertaining, to tell you the truth. Not when they kept shoving it down our throats, but in the opening the segment with Triple H, when he was like, "And you can watch it all for $9.99 on the WWE Network," you can tell the WWE is trying to turn that into a catchphrase as a way to make it relevant and hip so that more subscribers actually subscribe to the WWE Network.
Like
So
what?
I thought-
Or yes, or
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. They're trying to make it a chant. And I think that's a good idea, seeing that the pickle that they're in right now. But I think long term, it's not going to help them out.
I agree. I mean,
But-
the network could be their doom at the end of the day.
I thought it was entertaining, though.
I thought the show overall was okay, but I just felt like it was a giant infomercial, pretty much. I mean, if you think about it, what you had 2 beat the clock challenges. You had Ambrose versus Alberto Del Rio, which apparently was his final Raw appearance.
It wasn't expected to be.
Yeah, and they gave him like what, a 15-minute match, pretty
Yeah.
much.
It's like they knew he was gonna get fired.
Pretty much, yeah, they knew in a way. And yeah, Ambrose won, and he won it in 15 minutes. And apparently, whoever had the lowest time between Ambrose and Rollins would pick the stipulation at SummerSlam. And after this, we had Seth Rollins, who was supposed to face off against Rob Van Dam, and then apparently the Authority made the announcement that apparently Rob Van Dam would not be facing Seth Rollins. No. It was Heath Slater.
Hey, I don't know about y'all, but I thought this was awesome. Because listen, I'm enjoying this feud between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
Me too.
And
too.
any reason to give Heath Slater a win on Raw is okay in my book, because I'm a Heath Slater fan. All right, I'm gonna defend him. I'm just saying.
Yeah, of course, bro. It's all good. I mean, when I saw him, like, wait a minute, here's something's gonna happen here. They're gonna have him win, and they did. They had Ambrose come out. He was chilling by the briefcase. He was playing with the briefcase. He put popcorn in the briefcase. He ripped the contract. He poured soda inside the briefcase, and they distracted Rollins, and with the roll-up pin. There's one thing I hate. Like if you're gonna have Slater win, have him win with his finisher, not a roll-up pin. That's the thing.
No, but Steven, that would give him too much credibility. The WWE doesn't like to do that. That wouldn't make any sense. That's not best for business. You have to make it seem like Heath Slater's the ultimate underdog, and the only way he could ever possibly win a match is to get a roll-up, which is bullshit.
I agree. They also played a video package between Cena and Lesnar. Chris, what are your thoughts about that video package?
When I first watched it, like you said before, it felt like watching an MMA fight, like an MMA promotion, which I had that feeling. But then when I watched it the second time, the wrestler in me kind of nitpicked it a little bit, where I felt like, oh, okay, Brock Lesnar is not building up John Cena at all. He's just burying the guy. And I kind of felt, as a wrestler, I always believe in build up your guy, then knock him down in your promo. But then I actually talked to other people about it. I was asking their thoughts about it. Some of them say that, well, it is Brock Lesnar's character, that he doesn't respect anybody. And when you put it in that perspective, I say, okay, I get that. It does make sense, because when you see him in the MMA, like UFC, he respects nobody. He pretty much says, like, I'm gonna beat the guy. What happened?
And then fuck his wife. He's gonna get on top of his wife apparently after that, right? He's gonna get on top of his wife.
Yeah. Right. So, and then my trainer pretty much said that the whole story is that he just came off from beating the streak. Now he has his eyes set on being the WWE champion, and that's the story. And I was like, yeah, you do make a point. So, but other than that, the video package was actually awesome.
I agree too. I mean, it would make sense. I mean, put it this way too. This Raw, there was no Cena.
No Lesnar.
Yeah, there was no Cena, no Lesnar. Yeah, the YWC can be happy with that. Be happy. There was no Cena, there was no Lesnar. I mean, yeah, there was no Lesnar, kind of sucked, but there's no Cena. Cena was filming a movie. Apparently now.
Hollywood now.
Yeah, he's going Hollywood. Hypocritical, yes, hypocritical. Hypocritical.
It is.
Didn't he say 2 years ago, oh, I would never leave?
Bullshit.
I'm here for the people, man.
Look at Batista. Batista's the next Hollywood star.
Yeah, he's his movie
Got
getting
a big movie.
I
haven't seen that movie yet, so
I seen that movie, man. It's a good movie.
I heard. I mean, I didn't see it yet, but I mean, again, I'm not really big going to the movie theater. I'm not big on it.
Me neither, but I tried to watch this one tomorrow, the movie, so.
But yeah,
What movie are we talking about? What's going on?
Now we're talking about how, apparently this Raw, there was no Cena. Apparently he was filming a movie, which at the same time is kind of hypocritical. Remember 2 years ago, he was feuding with The Rock, when he was doing that whole rap thing and insulting Rock for leaving them to play a fairy with the with the fucking skirt, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's the tooth fairy and all that shit. He said, that he would never leave the people for Hollywood. Yeah, here he is filming movies and shit.
Well, okay, Steven, I'm going to talk to you about something. All right? I think for John Cena now, he's going to become The Rock. Because John Cena is 37 years old. He's going to become a part-timer in the WWE. He can't stay on top and wrestle 365 days a year for the rest of his life, or he's going to fucking die. So I think the ultimate goal for John Cena would be to become a movie star and eventually become a part-timer, and I think this is him transitioning into that.
I agree too. I think that too. Yeah, at the same time, but I just found that funny how he did that promo 2 years ago, and now he's doing movies. But again, I understand from your perspective, your point of view of it, which I agree too. Eventually he has to become that part-timer, and I think we saw part of that too at WrestleMania when he was feuding with Bray Wyatt. He was in the middle of the card instead of being the quote-unquote main event, and he was the top guy of the company also.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, building up other superstars.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I agree. We also had, by the way, we're not going in any order here at the Raw. We're just rambling, no order whatsoever.
Sounds good to me. Fucking shout them out. Let's hear them. What's next?
Yeah. We had the contract signing, Brie Bella and Stephanie, which apparently was the final segment of the show again. The final segment. 2 weeks in a row. And here's my thing with this, all right? as much as I'm digging the Ambrose Rollins feud as well, I'm digging it for what it is. But I do feel like the Stephanie Bree feud for a match of SummerSlam, which is more of an angle to me than a match, is getting more momentum or build, if you will, than Ambrose and Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing, Steve. I think the WWE is basically stating that Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon is more of a draw than Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. And I think it almost is, honestly. I think that match would draw more money. I don't think you could argue against that. I think Stephanie McMahon is arguably a bigger star than Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins currently.
Wow, that's bold.
That's bold, yeah.
That is bold.
Bold statement right there.
No. It's true, though. It's true. I think she would sell more tickets than Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose because, sure, they're getting over, but they're not even up there yet. They're not even, like, if you were to say Stephanie McMahon would be in an MMA fight, for example, versus a diva, that would probably draw more money than a random Dean Ambrose match. Stephanie McMahon has more of a name, and that's the truth.
But I think pretty much it's because of the heat she's generating, and people want to see her ass getting kicked. Bottom line. That's what people want to see.
Absolutely, yeah. They want to see that.
That's the big
And the
build-up.
contract happened. The signing, it happened and all that. They signed the contract. At the end of it, Triple H, pushes the desk to Brie Bella, has her, corner surrounded, right? Dick move, yeah. He could have literally just stride humped her right there, right, if you wanted to. Yeah, he could have. Fuck it, right? I mean, at one time he pulled up Candice Michelle's skirt. I think back in 03-04. There's a video of that on YouTube, I believe.
And he had sex with what was it? Katie Lee.
Oh, Vic. Katie Vic. Yeah.
And don't forget getting a blowjob in that Independence Day party he had.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was too. Yeah. And what happened was apparently Stephanie McMahon pedigrees Nikki Bella. And you think that was something to put the icing on the cake. She pedigrees Brie Bella. And when that ended, and you saw Stephanie McMahon and Triple H in the ring, the celebrating what happened and all that, I'm like, you're in deep shit when your wife does your finisher better than you. Yeah, I thought she did it to a T.
Well, here's the thing, Steven. He hasn't done the pedigree right in years.
Exactly. That's the thing also.
He's not as good as he used to be.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he used to.
But Steven, are we actually, in your opinion, are we actually going to see a traditional match? Or do you think there's going to be a lot of bogus interference and it's just going to be a lot of bullshit? Do you think they're actually going to wrestle?
I think this is more of an angle than a match. There'll be some, hair pulling, there'll be a spot where Brie probably she's about to go in for the win. There'll probably be a ref bump. You can't have a Divas match in this type of situation without a ref bump.
Well, the question is, Steven, what is this building towards? What is the ultimate goal of this feud? Who is this trying to get over?
In a way, I guess you say Brie Bella.
And that's kind of upsetting, isn't it? I don't even think Brie Bella's that much of a draw.
That's the thing also. I think she, in a way, is influenced because of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, and she's just getting cheated.
Because, listen, with Daniel Bryan being gone, you have to somewhat make Daniel Bryan still relevant. And that's almost a way to do it. Because after this feud, or while this feud is continuing, when he returns, that's something he can play off of immediately when he comes back.
Apparently he's returning in 2015, Royal Rumble. That's reports what I'm reading. Apparently, that's when he's planning. That's when they're hinting his return. So he'll be out for the rest of the year, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm not saying surprise entry. Yeah, I'm not saying surprise Royal Rumble entrant, or if that's the case, don't make him number 30 now or number.
Exactly. Number 30, that would satisfy a lot of the YWC.
Make him 27, make him 24, 26. Because you don't want to make it obvious. You want to make it obvious. Yeah, he's going to win at number 30. Oh, wow, he won the Rumble.
I just thought of a great feud. So let's say Kurt Angle leaves TNA and goes to the WWE. You would have I did it with a broken freaking neck match.
Oh,
Where you have Kurt Angle say, I want a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. And you say Daniel Bryan say, no, I took down a criminal with a broken freaking neck. And they have a fucking match. That would be awesome.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I just thought about that. Wow. I want a broken freaking neck match. WrestleMania 31, live in Levi Stadium. You can have Angle come out with his mouthpiece, and shit, all ECW Angle. Well, you know, WWE ECW Angle, pretty much, with the mouthpiece and all, with the fucking black sneakers and shit.
Oh, that'd be so good. It would literally be You Suck versus Yes. Like, I'm down for that shit. That shit would be awesome.
Of course it'd be, man. Of course it'd be. Boss of the walls. We also had here, we had Fandango losing to Diego. Again. Listen, you know, Santino's gone. They need a fucking comedy gimmick filler shit, so you might as well tout Fandango as that. Isn't that Adam Rose, though? Apparently, you know, they had a backstage segment with Adam Rose with the mirror from Oculus, whatever, where he looked at it, like, for a hot minute. He saw himself in a suit.
Hey, Steven, did you ever see the ending of the original Nightmare on Elm Street?
Nah, I have not, bro.
Well, it just brings up a point. When he looked through the mirror, you know who he should have seen?
Leo Kruger.
When he looked through the mirror? Leo Kruger. That would have been awesome.
Yes.
You know Freddy Krueger. All right, never mind. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that sucked, and I think Damien. Okay, so you have Damien Sandow, Fandango, and Adam Rose.
No, bro, can you say that? You just cut off randomly. Can you just say that whole part what you're saying about the movie? Because you cut off for me. You cut off on my.
All right. So, when Adam Rose looked through the Oculus mirror, he should have seen Leo Kruger.
Exactly.
Because Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. Anyway, yeah. But what I'm saying is, you have Adam Rose, Fandango, and Damien Sandow, who I'm sure we can all agree, the three biggest busts of the PG era going from 2013 to 2014. Three biggest busts.
Yep. It's pretty sad.
And it's sad, too. You know, it's funny, you know, apparently someone said, you know, Damien Sandow, 2013 won the Money in the Bank, right?
Yep.
He won the briefcase. 2014, he was, who did he lose to?
Adam Rose.
Adam Rose, right?
Yeah.
It was like, I think he was Paul Revere, right? We lost to Adam Rose. And now next year's Money in the Bank, you know, pretty much, yeah, he'll be in the parking lot. You know, it could happen. Wouldn't be surprised.
Parking lot brawl.
You know, who knows? Maybe have him dress up as, you know, I don't know, the stop sign, you know, or a car. Who knows, right? But what was I gonna tell you guys also? Fuck, I forgot. See, it happens, you know. Like when you talk about when you have a Raw that was like this, you know, it just your mind just go different directions. Apparently.
Oh yeah, it's not memorable.
Apparently, also next week we'll have the birthday of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's birthday. Celebrate on Raw. Guaranteed to be there. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, the original NWO. Maybe.
Gotta put
maybe.
Butts in the seats.
Maybe.
Well, Steven, this brings up a very interesting rumor, the rumor of John Cena versus Hulk Hogan. What do you think about that shit?
I heard rumors about it, too. I did hear rumors that apparently Hogan wanted to get back into the ring. Apparently he said, oh, my back is good again, despite the fact that he had 9 surgeries in the past. And that he wants to get back in the ring.
Yeah.
Listen, as much as I love Hulk Hogan, and I grew up watching him ever since I was 1 year old through my brother's VHS tapes, I got into wrestling and all that, I really don't want to see it now. If this was 2006, fine. You know what I mean? But now, with all, just imagine him right now, dropping the leg drop, considering all the surgery the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah, good.
Just imagine him not getting back up.
Yes, Steven, this sounds so entertaining. Even if it's the biggest botch match since WrestleMania 20 between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, I want to see that shit. Because even if it's bad, it's going to be entertaining. You're going to get a chuckle out of it. You're going to see a botchamania worth fucking watching. I'm down for that shit. Because let me tell you something, brother. When Hulkamania fixes his back and laces up his boots against John Cena, brother, you got to make a decision. Are you going to go with the Hulkamaniacs or the John Cena 9-year-old let's jerk our dicks off and we're going to have ourselves a little match at WrestleMania 31, whether you like it or not, brother? Because that's best for business.
And all for $9.99 on the WWE Network.
Oh, you had to plug that in there, huh, Steve?
I had to. All $9.99 on the WWE.
$9.99.
On the WWE.
$60 actually.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a 6-month commitment, you know. Also, apparently, there's a debut of the new WWE title. Apparently, it leaked out. Let me rephrase it. Leaked.
You know, a lot of people bitch about the way
viewing. Sorry? Say that again?
Well, I'm sorry. A lot of people bitch about how the current WWE title looks. But listen, man, like, if you're in an era where you're... Can you hear me?
Yeah. I mean, that belt behind me? That belt?
Yes. That belt. A lot of people bitch about that belt. But if you're in an era with the WWE where publicity is everything, you want to get your brand out to as many people as possible, you want to have an image that everyone can see and understand, then you're going to want to fucking paint that logo on your title that your champion holds. So from like a business perspective, it makes sense from the way it looks, from the picture that I saw that picture too of the way it looks now. It's the new WWE logo. I think it looks like shit, honestly, because I was a fan of the winged eagle or even the fucking unified look, not the current look. But I think from a business perspective, it makes sense why they would want to brand their logo on their title.
Because they want the network, you know, for the network.
It's all about the network.
Yep.
Yeah, I also want to make a point here. I mentioned this in my video that I was hearing people right away assuming that, oh, we see a new belt. Oh, Brock Lesnar is going to win automatically. It's a given. And I mentioned, like, you know, don't quickly assume that Brock Lesnar is going to be the winner just because they have a new design belt. Now, creatively, it would make sense if Brock Lesnar does win and then Triple H presents the new belt to him. But at the same time, don't use the logic of, like, well, Rock won the belt from CM Punk and he changed the belt. I mean, look back at Hulk Hogan in his first reign as WWF champion. Had it for 4 years, and during that 4 years, he changed the design of the belt. Same with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It went from that green leather, all the plate on the straps and all that, until the 1985 version of it, until the 86 version of it, until he became the Winged Eagle.
Right.
Now you bring up a good point, Chris. There's something I want to ask you personally.
Yeah. Sure.
WrestleMania 30. We all watched it. You know, I was there live, which was awesome. But Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker and conquered his undefeated streak, which was, I don't know about you, but I was pissed off about it. Now, you say that doesn't automatically indicate that Brock Lesnar should win. I say Brock Lesnar should win just for the fact that he beat The Undertaker and he needs the momentum of having the belt in order to lose to an up-and-comer to give them the belt and to give them a push. So I think it's essential that Brock Lesnar wins this title. I think if John Cena beats Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, I'm definitely going to have something to rant about.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean,
me too. I mean, again, in a perfect world, yes, Brock would win. But the problem is, it's one thing what we want, another thing is what creative has in mind right now as we speak. Right now, they can say, "Oh, right now, Brock Lesnar's going to win. That's how it's going to be." The day of the pay-per-view, moments before the match even happens, change of plans. Cena's going to retain. You take the belt at Night of Champions.
Oh, that sucks.
That can happen too. That's creative nowadays. They change their shit like that.
All the time.
You know what
I'm going to grab another beer. Give me 1 second. Grabbing one more beer. Hold on. 1 second.
Okay, grabbing this Keystone.
Keystone
Light. Keystone Light, the official sponsor of the podcast.
But yeah, I personally, if Cena wins, Cena wins. If Brock Lesnar wins, Brock Lesnar wins. To me, it doesn't really matter,
I'll be
in my
honest.
opinion.
I'll be honest. I want to see Brock win. At the same time, I would have no problem with Cena winning. Because I want to see how the internet complains and cry and moan about,
yeah.
Cena's the glory hog. Oh, John Cena ruins everything. John Cena's the cancer. The guy's generating money.
Yeah, but no one wants to see that guy.
Exactly, I understand that too. But at the same time, people understand John Cena generates money.
Of course.
That's key. That's key at the end of the day. Wrestling is a business.
Yep.
I will say this though: if Brock Lesnar does win the title, and I know people are concerned about, he's gonna be a part-timer, he's hardly gonna be around to defend that belt. If you think about it, and someone made this point that he's doing an MMA gimmick, and usually MMA fighters they don't fight the next day of the fight they just did. So if he wins the title and he comes in when it's ready for him to defend the belt, in a way it does kind of creatively make sense, don't you think?
Okay, it creatively makes sense, but it's bullshit. That's basically using MMA as a scapegoat for explaining why Brock Lesnar is a part-timer. And I agree, creatively it does make sense, but it's aggravating because the same thing happened with The Rock, but they used the Hollywood excuse. So Brock Lesnar now would be the MMA excuse. Excuses.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
That's true. But again, at the end of the day, there'll be people that'll complain if Cena wins. Perfect example, Bruce Blitz.
Oh, of course.
That guy will have a heart attack. Holy crap, yo.
I don't even watch him. It's just an hour or 2 hours.
It's longer than the pay-per-view. It's longer than the pay-per-view. It's longer than the pay-per-view.
So long.
I can't do that. I just can't. I'm sorry.
It's longer than the pay-per-view.
Heard of the
Holy
guy.
crap. Never heard of him either. But you get the idea, though. You get these people that crap on Cena for no reason whatsoever. I get it. The guy is a glory hog all you want, but the guy's making money. That's key. At the end of the day, that's key.
Hey, and Steven, in a time where the WWE needs every penny. So
Exactly.
it's
Right
even
now,
scarier
yeah.
because now there's even more of a reason for them to keep the belt on Cena, which is fucking awful.
Yep. That too. Or unless we can see the giant swerve now.
A swerve.
In the title. Nobody wants to see that shit unless...
No. What I'm referring to is okay, you have Ambrose and Rollins facing off in a lumberjack match, right? At SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And have Ambrose win, but in the main event, Cena and Lesnar have Lesnar lose. At the end of the match, have Lesnar beat the fuck out of Cena to the point where Rollins comes out, cashes in, becomes a new champion. The next night on Raw, you have Rollins celebrating, with the title or whatever. Then you have Ambrose come out and say, you know what? I beat you. Now you're the champion. You're making number one contender. So now the champion, you have Ambrose and Rollins.
All right. That's being in a perfect world. But we're thinking in WWE's creative mind that they think because they throw shit at a dartboard and they see what works. What the WWE is going to do is they're not going to have Seth Rollins cash in until way later on down the fucking line because they're not going to have Brock Lesnar feud with Seth Rollins, and they're not going to have Brock Lesnar just lose and fade off into obscurity after beating The Undertaker. There's got to be something that that Brock Lesnar is going to do. So I like your idea. I feel like the WWE would not do that.
That's too. That's too as well. Again, go back to what I was saying earlier. It's one thing what we want to see, but what we think could work. Another thing is what they have in mind in creative.
It's what's best for business for them.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're gonna be thinking about their own interests above
Exactly.
anything else.
What's gonna have them pay their rent for the month and all that shit, pretty much. What's best for the network? What's best for the network?
So Steven, I was reading some things that you're posting saying that you wanted a live rant-off on this podcast.
Oh yeah. Why not?
I don't. Have you seen the Ranoff series? Have you watched any of them?
I've seen some of them. You know, I seen you and OK Fabe. I've seen also with Angie, and I'll say this: we might get toast, all three of us.
I'm saying, man, we can do it. We can do it now, brother, live, right here on Team Heel podcast, brother. Or I'm saying we can sit down and diplomatically figure out the topics and do it at a later date.
I mean, the way I was raised is do it now or do it never.
Now or never. Fuck it, do it live. Fuck it.
All right, the topic is feminism. Why the fuck did this kid now?
Well, wait, Steven, can I plug something real quick? Can I have a little plug, just a little one?
Take it away, brother. Take it away.
All right. So, I don't know if you saw this past week's drunk show, but I made a formal challenge for the next Ranoff. And this person has accepted this challenge. It will be me, from In the Rope Show, versus the Schlag Daddy from OTR.
Will he have the
pen?
The pen? Is that what you're doing?
Every time I complain, you know, it's something that really gets to me sometimes, you know.
That guy. You're serious?
Yes.
WWE right now is so really fucked up right now. And I got
Steven, a lot of people compare him to me, actually. A lot of people say, Matt, you're just like Schlag Daddy from Off the Rope Show. And all I have to say is, I'm not that cynical.
It could be. I mean,
but I'm gonna have my hands full in 2 weeks because that's gonna be something. That's gonna be epic.
You're gonna kill him.
Yeah, I mean, what you guys should do, just recommend, just some, advice here, if you want to, because it's the Schlig Daddy here, you should do it live.
Ooh.
Have like a debate, live debate, have people vote live while you interact.
I like that. It's something that we could do right now, Steven.
That too, yeah, all of us.
If you want, just name. Okay, but here's the thing. It has to be a topic we all hate. It has to be a thing we all hate. That's the only way it can work.
Okay.
Because if I like it and you hate it, I'm not going to rant about it because I like it,
Okay. Let's see here. That's a good question here. I didn't think we'd make it this far with the rant up. And I didn't think, I thought, all right, random ran off, but I didn't think this would actually, what the planning was. Okay. It's a good question here. Okay, here's one.
All right.
Here's one. People who complain and bitch about, when wrestlers sign to the WWE, they're going to get lost in the shuffle on NXT for 2 to 4 years. I'm sure you hear this too all the time.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. Kenta, Devitt, potentially Steen's WWE. Claim that they're gonna go to WWE and get stuck in the shuffle of NXT for 2 to 4 years, just like Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville.
There's some validity to that though, because that's happened. There's some validity to it. I don't feel that strongly about it. Here's a question. We'll go down the line. What wrestler, Steven, do you hate? Like, you see him, and you're like, fuck that guy. Fuck his fucking bullshit. I don't want to see that shit. What's a wrestler you hate?
Well, let's see here. I respect everyone's ability to step into the ring.
Okay. Well, all right.
That's the thing about me.
You guys are real. Like, you're a fucking fan. You're watching this shit. You're like, yeah, I like that person, but fuck him. I don't want to. Like for me, it's John Cena. I see John Cena. I'm like, God damn it. I'm tired of your corny bullshit. You're not a real person. You're fake. Like for me, who's your John Cena?
Total Diva exposes you pretty much. Total Diva exposes you who you really are pretty much. Like, I'm a fan of you on Total Divas.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of you in the current WWE product.
So John Cena for you. You don't like John Cena.
I mean.
Or do you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of in the mix. You know what I'm saying? It's in a mix a little bit.
Okay. Chris, do you hate John Cena, or do you not like John Cena?
I'm not a huge
Chris,
fan of his
Chris,
work.
do you not like John Cena? Chris?
Can you hear me? Hello?
All right. Well,
Can you hear me?
are we all in agreement? Could we all rant about John? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Chris?
we can hear you.
Okay. Could we all rant about something that we hate about John Cena? Could that?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Wait. Okay. Well, Walter, is there something about John Cena that you hate?
One thing that I hate about this guy.
All right, here you go. He hogged the spotlight.
Okay.
Spotlight
hogger.
Spotlight
Okay.
hogger.
Hogging the spotlight. That's something I think we can rant about. So, Steven, if you want to go first, you fucking kick it off, and we'll go down the line. Or Chris, you go first. So it doesn't even have to be hogging the spotlight, but something you hate about John Cena, something you've always felt deep down on the inner core of your cockles, just let it out. Just rant about John Cena. Just go on, Chris. Let's hear it.
It's hard to think about what to hate about him because okay. The only thing I can think of is the fact that he's very stale when it comes to his character. That his character is in fact getting stale. But at the same time, you know, I understand why they kept it up with his character. But going on 10 years, he needs to change it.
Exactly.
You know.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Took the word.
All right, Steven. What do you hate about John Cena? You know, it's like we're cleansing and purging our hate.
The guy been around for so many years. You know, he went from the rap gimmick. No, he went from the usual, you know, generic look to the rap Vanilla Ice, Eminem, you know, word to your mother, word life bullshit, to the Marine. He does this consistently now, where it's like, dude, if you're gonna do this, do it fucking right. It's not. Or now he went from this to this and holding the towel and shit. Like, quit fucking promoting your towel. I don't want to buy this shit. All right, you've been around for so many years. Again, it's one of those things where it's time for someone new. It's time for someone new to take over. You know, again, and I think that new person is going to be Roman Reigns. Whether we all like it or not. People are going to bitch about it. Oh, it shouldn't be Roman Reigns, but at the end of the day, it's going to be him. Who knows? Maybe, you know, think about this, right? WrestleMania 18, you had The Rock and Hogan. WrestleMania 28, you had Rock and Cena. WrestleMania 38, we could have, you know, Reigns and Cena.
Oh, God.
You kind of get where I'm going there?
I doubt that.
I get it. I don't want it, man. I'm not buying into Roman Reigns. I'm not buying into his bullshit.
The guy was not champion for a year. It was somebody else, you know, Phil Brooks. That guy was champion for a year. Never main evented.
Here's the thing, man. Well, yeah, true. At least Phil Brooks could bring it in the ring. Roman Reigns is so bland. You know, he has the look. I get it. He's fucking related to The Rock. And you know, he can fucking act like a badass all he wants, but I feel like it's so artificial with him, man. Like, it's not clicking that well. He needs more time. You fucking don't shove a rocket ship up his ass. Because the crowd is not gonna like it. I guarantee you that. You try to push him too fast, the crowd is gonna eat him alive. Because he is not at the point that he should be right now. Because honestly, man, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are surpassing him in every aspect.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Roman, he depends so much on that Superman punch. He depends on it so much.
Because it looks all theatrical.
He's so bland. John Cena has more moves than him. And that's a sad thing to say, but it's true. John Cena has more moves than the Roman Reigns. Jesus. What the fuck? Well, Walter, let's hear your John Cena rant. I want to hear yours, man. Come on.
John Cena, I don't necessarily think this is his fault, but every time someone is, like, getting over, and then once they face John Cena, he they just stopped getting pushed, like Cesaro, Bray Wyatt, Damien Sandow, so many.
Yes. It's a problem. It's a fucking problem. If you want to hear what I have to say, fuck. Okay, John Cena. You pushed him to the fucking moon for the longest fucking time, and then you feed all these new up-and-comers that could be stars to John Cena so John Cena can prove just how great he fucking is. You did that with Umaga. Umaga never won the WWE Championship. He should have fucking won. You did that with Bobby Lashley. You should have won the fucking WWE Championship. Damien Sandow had a chance to be an upper-level mid-card champion. You fucking threw that shit away. All you do is you feed these other wrestlers to John Cena to prove a point that he's the greatest in the WWE, when in fact, he's fucking mediocre and he's only fucking good because they package him that fucking way. In fact, John Cena is the eater of careers. He doesn't do anything well for other wrestlers. He fucking destroys careers, and we fucking saw that with Bray Wyatt.
He's going in. He's going in. Go ahead. Go in.
Oh, God.
That's it. John Cena is the fucking cyanide for the careers of young wrestlers in the WWE. And there you go. There's my rant.
With that being said, I think it's safe to play.
Oh, God.
All right, man. Steven, I don't know if you wanted to keep going, but actually I have to leave very soon.
It's okay, man. Yeah. I mean, one more thing, before you, head out, talk about some. I know you probably don't watch TNA, and it's understandable, people out there watching up. But I don't know if you noticed. I'm sure, while Raw's on the air, you go on social media. I think we all do, right? While Raw's on, whatever. You know how we live in the world that's full of social media, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on Twitter on Monday, and I'm on, seeing what people are saying about the show and all that, right? And I happened to bump on a tweet from TNA wrestler Bully Ray, all right? And I'm going to read this tweet out to you guys. I'm going to share it too.
Right before you say that, Steven, you want to hear something kind of cool? ODB is actually following our show on Twitter.
She's following me too. She follows me also on Twitter.
Oh, cool. All right, well, go ahead. So read the thing.
I'm actually going to share it for you guys. I'm going to share it. You guys see that? You guys see that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Attention all we'll put it back up.
Okay, here it is. Attention, I'll read it. Attention all wrestling fans. # it happens this Thursday. # Impact on Spike at Dixie TNA at Impact Wrestling is going through a table. # Raw Austin. Does anybody see a problem with this tweet?
Yeah, he basically spoils what happens. But listen, look, there's two sides to the argument.
No. This
what?
right here.
Oh, because he wants fucking people watching WWE Raw to fucking see it.
Here's my thing with that, okay? This is my belief, if you will. It's bad enough that the internet spoiled it weeks in advance. And it's bad enough that they themselves spoiled it a week before. And granted, myself and Knowledge of Wrestling, we were there when it happened. We were there, all right?
Yeah, I saw you. I watched the fucking table spot. There's actually a cut of you, a shot of you. Did you see yourself? I saw you in the crowd. That was cool.
Myself and Walter, we were recording this shit illegally while it was happening. But the thing is, but then again, the company themselves spoil it. And matter of fact, yesterday, before the show went on the air, there's a YouTube video where they asked people, what's your thoughts about the spot, and they showed people the video of the actual spot, on an iPad, whatever.
Yeah. You
don't do that, and especially now when you go on social media, and I get it, you want to promote your stuff. That's fine. But you don't grab your competitors, you don't reference to your competitor to promote your stuff. For example, it's not you're going to see Pepsi promote their newest beverage on Twitter and say, # drink Coke.
I see what you're saying, Steven. The only thing I have to say to that is TNA needs every advantage they can get right now because of the Spike TV situation. They need every eyeball and every person to watch their product. That's why they spoiled it. They're like, shit, we don't have a TV deal. We want to get as many viewers as we can, so this is something we can show to another network that, shit, we actually have viewers. And it sucks, and it was stupid, and it was a bad mistake, and I agree with you. It was bad that they did that, but at the same time, I'm not going to knock them because they're in a really bad space and a really bad spot right now with the TV deal.
But did you see the spot, though, when it actually happened?
I watched it on YouTube, yeah.
I'll say this about Dixie Carter, all right? I said it numerous times. You know, I have zero faith in the woman, you know, as far as her wrestling ability, and her track record proved it. But I got to give the lady props for taking that bump on a table. It amazes me how I didn't think about that when I was there live, you know, at the Manhattan Center when it actually happened. I'm kind of upset that it took me this long to finally realize that, hey, you know, for her first bump to be, you know, from the top rope power bump through a table.
Dude, they pulled a fucking Mae Young Bully Ray spot. That was awesome. Like, fucking, yeah. Like, even though Bully Ray, most of it, like, his ass hit the table and it was more her, she still took a fucking powerbomb from the top rope. Nobody can discredit her for that. And if anything, it was a great culmination of their feud. I wasn't watching TNA Impact on a daily basis, but I read the spoilers, I watched the videos, I know her heel character, I know the shit she's been doing. So that must have been a satisfying culmination to her on-screen character, her going through that table, because I know they were building that table spot up. So at least I can give props to TNA for doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and again, you know, this is the end of the Dixie Carter character. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope. That's the last.
That's how I feel about most of the wrestling in general. Let's hope. You know, you can hope as much as you want. You can hope in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first. But as we've all seen with WWE in recent times, they know how to disappoint more than they know how to entice.
So, like right now, you know, the state of wrestling is not the best right now.
Yeah.
It's not. The state of wrestling as we speak, you know, and WWE has their problems too with the network.
Steven, I have to go. I don't know. You don't have to stop, but I do have to head out. How do you usually?
Oh, it's all good, bro. You know, it's understandable. You know, things happen. You know, but before you go, though, you want to promote, you know, your social media. You know, out there.
All right. For all those who are watching, and for all those who will be watching, I have to say, please fucking watch this guy. Watch both of these guys. These guys have been awesome. This is my first time. I've Skyped with Steven before. This is my first time being on this podcast, and it has been a gem of a time. I've had so much fun. And if you want to, I am just a taste of what my show is like. We're very raw. We fucking curse. We drink alcohol. We smoke hookah. We fucking hit each other in the head with chairs. We wrestle. We're the Attitude Era of the YWC. If you want to check our shit out, we're In The Rope Show. It's www.youtube.com/InTheRopeShow2.com or something. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter, In The Rope Show, Facebook, In The Rope Show, and our In The Rope Show Treehouse. That's our little group on Facebook. You can check that shit out. Have fun with us. Fucking, if you want to chat with us, you can Skype with us. We don't care. We like to talk about wrestling and have fun, make jokes. Fucking, just wrestling in general is in our blood, and we will show that to you. So check our shit out, and check his shit out, and Walter's shit out, because these two motherfuckers are cool.
Thank you very much, man. Also, Chris, whose system just crashed. He'll be back on the air for a little bit. But yeah, man, thank you for coming in, man. We gotta do this again. And good luck with your rant off against Slick Daddy.
Thank you so much. And Walter, if you ever want to do a rant off of one of us, just fucking give us a call and we'll rant off against you. And Steven, if you want to rant off against us, we'll rant off against you. We don't care. We're trying to bring the YWC together, and we're venting our frustrations one rant at a time. So
hey,
please.
What you should do against Slick Daddy, you know, mind games, if you will. Just like him. You know,
really?
Have the fucking poster in the background, get the pen on and shit.
Well, to sign off, Steven, I agree, but to sign off, I'm just... actually, we're just some friends watching wrestling, all of us. We're all just doing our thing. And never, never, never say never in the Rope Show. Thank you, guys. This has been fucking awesome. Heel Steven, Walter, Christopher. This has been the motherfucking shit, and I can't wait to do this again and to be on another podcast with you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That has been Matt from In The Rope Show. Thank you for tuning in. And next week, ladies and gentlemen, our guest will be Chase Oliver 68 for the go-home show to SummerSlam. I can't wait for that either. But now legit, we still got time a little bit. Chris is going to get back on a bit, but we should let people know what's been going on. There's some projects between us, we'll be like we said earlier in the podcast, we will be debuting a new concept, a new show, if you will, called Saturday Night Shoots on the TRN Talking Wrestling Network. Excuse me. Link is down below in the description. We have a show every Saturday. All right, every Saturday, I believe at 10 p.m., where we discuss pretty much the things that are happening in the world of wrestling. WWE, TNA, shit in general. We just shoot the shit also. And one Saturday a month, we'll be streaming live on that channel. It's pretty much in a way to help them out, get them noticed. They're good people. They mean well. So if it means anything, subscribe to their channel also. And, if you're the 200 subscriber, you will receive a free poster signed, autographed by the icon Sting himself. And who wouldn't want a poster?
Exactly. It's once in a lifetime. Sting's finally back in WWE. So, can mean something. Get that Sting poster. Be a 200 subscriber.
Exactly. What it's all about. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And again, we will say, I think we lost today in that rant-off.
Oh, definitely.
We got smoked.
I mean, I was just thinking, and out of nowhere, he expressed himself even more.
Yeah, again, you got to be on point, though. You got to be on point with these rant-offs. You got to be, top of your game.
You got to have this. Now, we didn't even plan it out like that. He still did a good job.
Exactly.
So, there's a lot of things we could rant about.
Exactly.
There's so many things that you just think of one that's going to be the best one to rant about.
Exactly.
It's an easy target, too. So.
Yes, Jonathan Goodboy, I see here.
Who's Jonathan Goodboy?
Exactly. You know what? Let's get him in.
Jonathan?
No. Let's get one more guy. You know what? Let's talk some MMA here. Let me get this guy in here real quick. Let me get Chase Oliver in here. Why not? Give them a preview. Why not? Right?
You're talking about someone else.
Oh, I'm happy. My boy John took a picture with Oscar De La Hoya.
Who's Jonathan?
Oh, no, a friend from my town. Yeah, a friend from my town.
That's cool.
Friend from my town, pretty much. He's big in the boxing world. He's big. He's part of the WBC, the YBC, the YouTube boxing community. He's big on that.
Oh.
And he's big on that, the YouTube boxing community. And he apparently, he goes to all these boxing gym interviews, boxers and all that. If you want to subscribe to him, it's pound for pound, P for P Glory. Give him a sub. If you're into boxing, and all that combat sports, I strongly recommend you guys go check him out. You know what I mean? But, yeah, this week's wrestling has been there, for $9.99 a month.
$9.99 to watch Raw. No, you can watch that for free. TNA is for free, too.
It's always been for free.
Oh, not that one night onlys.
Yeah, apparently they have one, actually.
Yeah, the X Division one. It's actually, I think it's cheaper than the... Is it cheaper than the network? I don't know.
I don't know. Apparently there's a meme. Oh, this is the logo, guys, for Saturday Night Shoot on the TRN network.
Looks awesome.
It's not bad, I know. It looks sexy. It looks sexy. I can't wait, though. I can't wait.
Yep.
And we'll be joined by Chase Oliver in a bit.
Shit.
What is up, Chase?
They're using my shitty webcam right now. Let's see. Do I have a good webcam on or?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're getting the best of both worlds. We just had in the rope show. Now we have Chase Oliver in.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know what's going on with the webcam. The webcam's not turning on. This is weird.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun.
Yes, exactly.
That's the point of the YWC at the end of the day, But, I'm sure we've all seen it, the DVD from Paul Heyman.
Yes, I have. I actually reviewed the documentary. It was a good watch.
I didn't buy it. A friend of mine actually let me borrow it.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I just gave it back to him pretty much. He saw it apparently. After he bought it, he saw it. Because apparently his girlfriend works at FYE.
Oh, okay.
So he got it.
Getting good deals off that.
So yeah, he got it before it went to the public, pretty much.
Nice.
So he watched and he just gave it to me pretty much to watch. And I just gave it back to him a couple hours ago. And again, I thought overall the DVD itself was good work by WWE.
Yeah, I liked the documentary. I liked how they shot the scenes and the music that they used and the cast of characters. Like, they got Raven for this documentary, which surprised me, and Todd Gordon as well. Todd Gordon, seeing him doing interviews, that was cool. I just didn't like how, like, 40 minutes of the documentary was all ECW, and it was just talking more about ECW than it was Paul Heyman. Like, they did talk about what Paul Heyman did for ECW, but it was just more about, like, what ECW was than it was about, just overall in general. But I liked it. It was a good documentary. Not my favorite of all time, but definitely a good one.
I think the problem with that, too, is the fact that when you think of ECW, I'm not saying the one that WWE tried to rebuild.
Yeah.
You have to think of Paul Heyman.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like saying, for example, the Chicago Bulls. You can't think of the Chicago Bulls without Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean? So in a way, I kind of understand why they talked about ECW. Even though I do feel, in a way, they were more in depth of what happened back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing about Paul Heyman, like, he loved the business. That's one thing about him that you cannot deny. The guy gives a shit about the business.
Yeah, dude, this guy, like, for anyone that, like, just wants to know what it's like I'm one of those people that is like Paul Heyman. You have to do it yourself to succeed in this world. And it was just amazing to see his story about, like, how he lied about, like, working for the Wrestling Times to get inside Madison Square Garden. That's just props and respect right there for me, man. It's just like, hey, you got to do what you got to do to make it big in this business. Like, I have to just give my utmost respect to Heyman and how successful he is. I don't know what his bank account's like or anything like that, but hey, man, he's living the life and he lived the dream and he did it, man. So I just got to give him props and respect for that.
I'll just say this right now, though. I think because of the DVD, I wouldn't be surprised if next year they put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I want to say next year. I would say probably for Dallas for 32 because that would make more sense because it's the Texas scene. Because this year, they might be looking to put in Rock and Sting. And you don't want to, make it where Heyman gets completely overshadowed. So maybe probably 32, that's what I would put him in, or 33 if they're in Florida. So, because I heard 33 might be in Florida next that year. So it all depends really they want to do it.
You gotta have a mix. You gotta have a mix of, in that Hall of Fame. Like I said earlier, it'd be great to finally see the British Bulldog in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you think about it too. The Hall of Fame, the people to put in the Hall of Fame is getting down to the nitty gritty. Like, who else can you put in the Hall of Fame? Eventually, you have to put in Owen. You have to put in the Bulldog. You have to put in all these other guys. Savage. You have to. Eventually, it's now or never.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially for Savage. On his part, like he should have been in the Hall of Fame like a long time ago. Like, it's ridiculous that we're in 2014 and freaking Edge and Coco Beware are in the Hall of Fame before him. In my personal opinion, like so many superstars getting the Hall of Fame before Savage, like that's just ridiculous. Like 2006 or 7 should have been the perfect year to put Savage in the Hall of Fame, but they didn't.
I agree with you 100% on that. And Chris is back. What's up, man? His connection is out there, but he should be back in a bit. But yeah, I mean, so Che, did you start TNA last week? Did you see it last night? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I wasn't really that big of a fan of this episode, mainly because it was just kind of like, I just couldn't get into it. I felt that like they did some good stuff to get me like, like Bobby Roode and Destroyer Lashley I'm excited for. But, the It Happens theme, because I've been a TNA fan since 2002. Like, I bought their weekly pay-per-views and shit like that. So, like, for me, it's a different perspective than most TNA fans. It just felt like a glory hound moment for Dixie Carter. It's something that Jeff Jarrett would do, was just to glory hound herself to be so great. And I just wasn't a fan of this episode. Samoa Joe winning the title. It's like, I don't know if I'm pissed off that Joe's back into X Division or happy he's back. Like, I'm so mixed on that. It's just the knockout scene. It's still the same 4 women that it was a year ago. It's like, it's not changing. So I was just really disappointed in this episode. It was fine. And also, I didn't like Monsters Ball. They just like took a great concept that TNA made back in 2004, and they like just misused it now, because Monsters Ball, for anyone who doesn't know, like, this concept was that like the people before they would wrestle in the Monsters Ball match, the gimmick would be that these guys would be locked up in a chamber with only like a piece of bread and water, and they would be sitting there before the match even starts. And nowadays it's just like a casual hardcore match. Like it's sad, but it was all right. I just wasn't a fan of this episode. I can see why people like this episode. I can definitely see it, but I just was just like, nah, man, this just hurt me watching it as an Impact Wrestling fan. So I was just like, whatever. So my perspective's a little bit different than most, but I can see why people like this episode and why people are into TNA. Because let's face it, the WWE right now, they're not really doing anything TNA's doing, and TNA just feels organically different. So people are going to enjoy TNA a little bit more than WWE, but I don't know. I just wasn't into it.
I
Not to
mean,
say it was.
I agree. I mean, overall, I thought Destination was better than Impact.
Yeah.
That's the last night's Impact, in my opinion. But again, it's one of those things where with TNA, it's like what I said on David's show a while back. You know, it's sometimes they take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and it's a pattern. You know, it happens to be a pattern. But overall, I feel like the New York shows were good. You know, a huge improvement from the taping that they had in May. They were in Orlando, where they had like the worst tapings in the history of wrestling, almost.
And also better than the Pennsylvania tapings for sure.
I mean, I thought the Pennsylvania tapings were a boost up a little bit. I'm not saying oh my God, best in the world, but it was a boost. It was a boost for something, and even for us, we were there live, and the whole thing happened with the tables and all that, But
yeah, I bet you it was fun live. Like, don't get me wrong. Like any live show I go to, I mark out. Like I just put the reviewer cap to the side and I just mark out for watching like good old fashioned wrestling. It was just like if I was there live, I would be freaking out. Dixie Carter went through a table too. But then afterwards, watching it over again, I'll just be like, God damn, it's such a glory hound moment for Dixie Carter. God, I would just be so upset about that because it's just like that's my only problem with it.
I think also because the way it went down, like the way TNA,
the whole TNA roster came out, that just pissed me off, man. Like I don't know why. When all those guys came out, I'm like, God damn, is Jeff Jarrett back there booking this shit? Is Jeff Jarrett back? This is a Jeff Jarrett segment all over again. If you guys remember, Jeff Jarrett, or Russo. Yeah. No, Russo was probably still with them at the time, so he probably booked this shit. Because like, if you guys remember back in the good old days with Jeff Jarrett, when Jeff Jarrett was NWA champion, I remember. Every time, like, Jarrett was about to get his comeuppance or something, they would always have the whole Impact roster come out, like, Jeff Jarrett, he's going to get. It's like, God damn it, Jeff Jarrett's not that big of a figure. Like, to have the whole roster trying to take this motherfucker down, man. Like, God damn.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, of course.
That was my only problem with it. If they would have just left it where Bully just, attacks like Dixie like that, and there was not the whole TNA roster out there, I would have been okay with it, but it was just the whole roster out there. It was just, it just annoyed me.
I feel you on that. I really do. But again, next week is supposed to be the Dudley Boys versus the Hardys, or Team 3. I'm sorry, Team 3 versus the Hardys. We'll also have the Fatal 4 with the Knockouts title. I mean,
it's the same for the women.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what happened to this Brittany? Like, apparently this Brittany was supposed to get a push, and now she's, like, gone. It's like, what? Like, she had one match with Madison Rayne, the first New York show. It was, like, a random hardcore match, and now she's gone. It's like, I thought she was your next big star for your knockouts. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying, too. I'm surprised it's not. Apparently, there was an article that went on the internet regarding the details between Spike TV and TNA, apparently. I don't know if you heard about this, but
no, I haven't.
Apparently, I got it from WrestleZone pretty much, and he said apparently, Spike TV wanted to purchase a percentage of TNA Impact Wrestling and move forward. I'm reading it by the way, so as I quote, Spike, yeah, Michael Cole, and I quote, Spike TV wanted to purchase a percentage of TNA Impact Wrestling and move forward. As share owners of the business, Dixie Carter would not agree to this deal, and it caused the news of the potential end of their working relationship.
Oh, well, that makes a lot more sense then, because if I was TNA, I wouldn't let Spike TV buy my shit either, in my personal opinion. That's actually makes more sense because, Spike TV, let's face it, they are just not a good network. They're not a good network to be on. If you're like if you just want like 15 minutes of fame, you could go on any other reality TV show and get that. But Spike TV, it's just not really that great of a network, and you know, I wouldn't want to give any percent of my shares if I was a wrestling organization to Spike TV because it's like what I said in my Impact Wrestling video. 40% of it is Spike TV's fault. Why they probably would leave TNA, they would separate from TNA is because Spike TV, they had WWE Raw. They had one of the longest running cable shows in all of television history on Monday Night Raw. WWE has a fan base, so that fan base is going to watch it no matter what. TNA, when they were bringing it on Spike, it had no fan base, and they felt like if we just promote it for 2 years, we're going to get the same amount of ratings as Monday Night Raw. Well, that's not the case because these guys, this is not WWE. Yeah, you could have Jeff Hardy. Yeah, you could have Kurt Angle. Yeah, you could have this guy. You can say those names, but it's not WWE still. People are not going to watch it. It's not the well-known brand. It's like, how can you compare it to something that's like people like that? It's like drinking Starbucks. People would rather drink Starbucks than, you know, a coffee bean, which is in California. People would rather drink Starbucks. They would have a Starbucks in their hand rather than the coffee bean. So, you know, Spike TV is just a terrible network, and that makes sense. I hope TNA can find a new home, though, because I don't want TNA to go away. Even though they do stupid stuff, they're still a wrestling organization to me, and the more wrestling that's on TV, the better, and better opportunities, you know, for other superstars, especially people in the wrestling business. So that's another reason why I hope TNA doesn't fade away into obscurity.
I don't want it to go either. You know, I might criticize TNA sometimes for what they do.
Yeah.
You know, say, don't get it the fucked up now. You know, yeah, you can call me a TNA fan if you want, but don't get the fucked up. I'm not gonna sit here act like they've done everything right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, see, the thing is, it's just like some people just don't understand. People think, oh, you criticize one thing, you just hate them. No, I don't hate them. It's just that, you know, they do stuff that pisses me off, and as a reviewer and as someone who has an opinion, I'm going to tell you what they did that pissed me off, and it doesn't mean I want them to die and go away. No, you know, Ring of Honor has done so many stuff over the years that pissed me off. Do I want ROH to die and go away? No, I actually want ROH one day to get an actual legit TV deal, so that way they're being featured more, not in the afternoons or in the 11 o'clock in Vegas. When I first saw them, I was like, wow, ROH TV in Vegas at 11 o'clock at night. So, you know,
yeah, absolutely.
It's just that, you know, I want more wrestling, but it's just hard because it's like, you know, people are not really interested in wrestling, and the wrestling business is not doing themselves favors, you know, especially because when you look at WWE, which everyone is watching, and they say, wow, if other wrestling's like this, why should I watch? So,
of course, yeah, you know. But again, time will only tell. I mean, it's hope. I did hear rumors also. Apparently, you know, apparently Viacom, the parent owner of Spike, said, "Oh, you know, if Spike TV does not want to put them back again, then they're going to have a problem putting them on another network that they own, and one of them being MTV."
Yeah. MTV would actually help a little bit. For Impact, I wouldn't think it would help in the ratings department, but it definitely would be a better scene, a better environment for them. You know, obviously Viacom loves their wrestling. They love combat sports, Viacom. We've seen this so many years, how much Viacom appreciates and loves them. And Dana White will never give Viacom the proper credit, but Viacom is the reason why UFC is as big as it is.
The ultimate fighter.
So, you know, Viacom's a good organization. They know how to take care of their baby. So, you know, if Viacom could put it on MTV or put it on another network, that could actually benefit well for them, and it would be good for them.
Exactly. Now, we just talked about MMA, so let's talk about some MMA a little bit. You know, I'm sure you heard the big news that happened this week with John Jones and Daniel Cormier.
That was funny.
The big brawl that happened in Vegas.
Daniel Cormier and
apparently they're facing off, whatever, and you know, apparently they got too close. Which caused DC to push him, then John to punch him, and it just went crazy. It was just, you know, I'll say this, right? To me, I feel like this feud, if you will, is the new Ken Shamrock, Tito Ortiz.
Yes, it is. It is, man. It totally is, because this started back in 2011. Now, I met the guy. His name is T-Rex. He works for what's that NBC promotion that they have going on over there?
World Series of
Fighting. Yes, he's a promoter at World Series of Fighting. I recently met him, and do you know MMA Roasted Adam, that guy who does comedy on MMA and stuff like that? MMA Roasted. Yeah. I recently met both of them, and T-Rex is actually a guy who's part of Cormier's camp, and apparently. and T-Rex, he was trying to get John Jones to be sponsored by a certain brand because like he sponsors Cormier something, and T-Rex wanted John Jones to represent that. T-Rex asked John Jones at the MMA Awards if he would wear that, and John Jones said, "I ain't gonna wear anything that Punk DC's wearing." And so T-Rex said that to DC, and DC got really upset about that. He's like, "Did he really say that to you, bro? I'm gonna kick his ass right now." And so this started back in 2011. This has been building up, and this is the fight like I've been wanting to see because I feel Cormier can challenge Jones in a lot of different ways with his wrestling.
You probably like now listen here, okay? Now listen, okay? You know, this is a tough fight. I understand that, and you know, I gotta go in there and I'm gonna give him my all. You know, he is a good wrestler. I'll give him that. You know, he was never in the NCAA, but you know, it's a difficult fight. You know, I'm gonna go in there, do my thing, and impose my will, and you know, maybe take him down and just dirty ground and pound him. I try my best, but
yeah, that sounds almost close to DC. But yeah, DC like and Jones, this has just been building up for a long time. And the thing about DC is like he's fought heavyweights like Bigfoot Silva who have the same amount of reach as John Jones and made them look silly. So he is someone that like I feel is just an interesting matchup for Jones, and this is going to be I would be surprised if this is one of their best pay-per-view buys the whole year. Like if this draws the most pay-per-view interest, because to me, Gustafsson and Jones, even though it was a good fight and it was close, and you could argue Gus won, I would say that DC and Jones is a much better fight. That's a much better, interesting fight. If you want people to buy your pay-per-views, that's how you buy a pay-per-view. I mean, this isn't a race scene, but it's true. Two black guys arguing is more entertaining than a black guy and a white guy arguing, and that's just the bottom line. You get two black people arguing on TV, people think that's money, and it's ratings, and it's everything. And I've been watching everything DC and Jones have been doing. It's hilarious. That Sports Center thing that they recently did, that was funny. It was, but yeah, this is the next Ken Shamrock and Tito Ortiz. This is by far.
All you gotta have now is coaching Ultimate Fighter. You'll be set. Just imagine they coach Ultimate Fighter. Just imagine that them coaching Ultimate Fighter.
That would be the best season since Bisping and Miller. That'd be the Bisping and Miller. That was a good one. That would be the best season since then because Bisping was just such a little prick.
Yeah, I remember that. And I'll be honest, in that when they fought, I thought, you know what? I was thinking, oh man, I'm probably gonna do it, and he didn't.
Yeah.
You can say too because of the huge layoff that he had at the time. Also, I think his last fight, I think it was against Souza. That was in Dream. His last fight. Before that, then he became, I think he became Happy Patrick, whatever it was in that movie. Lucky Patrick.
Yeah, I think that was his last fight. I was trying to remember. I thought he fought Shields at another event, but yeah, I think he did fight in Dream before he fought Bisping again. So.
Yeah, of course. And also, we have apparently coming up in January, Nick Diaz versus Anderson Silva.
That's the fight of the century. I don't care what anyone says.
It's funny though, right? Fight. It's funny. I post that, right? And one of my female friends, right, who's like, he's more into UFC. Like, she tries to get into the sport, but she's more into like the UFC, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Oh, that's bullshit. They're probably fighting at middleweight, right? And Nick Diaz never fought Mayhem Miller at middleweight. So why the fuck is Nick Diaz fighting, Anderson Silva middleweight now, huh?"
I don't care what anyone says, man. That's the best fight. That's the best fight. Who cares, man? Diaz and Miller, that's
Anderson.
nothing.
Yeah, it's Anderson.
Anderson and Diaz, that's just entertainment, man. If you want funny-ass interviews where people are trolling each other the whole time, oh my god, dude! Like Diaz was hilarious on his own when they asked him like, "Oh god, this is greatness, man. This is better than the Super Bowl this year. Fuck the Super Bowl, man. Super Bowl is jack shit compared to Silva versus Diaz, man. Super Bowl, it don't matter. They have to cheat. They have to cheat in the Super Bowl. They have to find a way to get Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl somehow, because no way anything in the Super Bowl will surpass what Diaz versus Silva will be, man."
Absolutely. Now it depends also on. I mean, you could have a shitty undercard. You could have the shittiest undercard for this fight, and you can still have the great fight between Diaz and Silva. Pretty much. I can just imagine the press conference. I can imagine Nick Diaz right now. Well, yeah, it's a good fight, and don't be scared, homie. Stockton motherfuckers. It's so big.
I'm tired of selling whoop tickets with George. I only fight hitters, man. Like, I'm sick and tired. Like, no wrestling shit with Anderson. Yeah, it's normal. We're gonna have a fight, right, Anderson? We got fight. We got fight. Fights.
This a big sport. This a big sport. I'm happy.
I respect Big Diaz. Like, oh god.
This a big sport. They do Lorenzo. They do Dana White. They do Joe Silva.
Thanks to the fans.
Thanks to the fans. That's yours. I'm working. This is my job. I'm not the best. No, the best, in my opinion, the best is GSP and BJ Penn. That's the best. Those the best. Me, I'm just doing my job. I'm working, you know. Show zoning, yeah, show zoning, yeah, show zoning, para caramba. Me no fight John Jones, me no fight John Jones, no, me no fight John Jones. No.
That fight will never happen. I wouldn't even care if I didn't see John Jones and Anderson Silva, man, in all honesty.
I remember when Silva fought Stephen Bonner at UFC 153, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, I think I'm crazy. Was it 53? No, I think it was I think it was 143. I think it was. No, fuck, it can't be 43.
I think you're right.
I think it was in Brazil.
Yeah, because originally that fight was supposed to feature Jose Aldo, but then he got into a motorcycle accident.
And I remember when Silva beat him, whatever, right? Joe Rogan was like, "Oh, it would be a travesty if he didn't fight John Jones. For history's sake, these two got to fight." And I'm like, okay, but the problem is, at the time, John Jones didn't really. I mean, yeah, he had a couple wins, but it's like not like where he's at now. You know what I mean?
he didn't have a legacy. John Jones didn't have like anything going for him, but it's like really he was just like a young champion, and he was still building his name. And he beat big names like Rampage and Rashad at the time, but it was just like
Shogun. I'll be honest. I was sad when he beat Shogun because I was there. my friend at the time, he worked at Prudential Center, right?
Oh, okay.
And he snuck me in pretty much. He snuck me in. I was at work, whatever. He's like, "Yeah, bro, just come through the Prudential Center. I'll sneak you to the back door. Whatever. You get to go." And I saw the fight. And at the time, the thing about the Prudential Center is that across the street, you know, it's Newark, New Jersey, but it's a giant Brazilian community full of Brazilians. So when I got there, it was a sea of Brazilian flags, pretty much, all going for Shogun, pretty much. And obviously, you know, Shogun got his ass whooped, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
And at the time, you know, the guy who I was training with, because I was doing some jiu-jitsu at the time and all that, right? And apparently, where he trains at the gym that he trains to, the next day Shogun came in, right? And he talked about what happened. He's like, "Yeah, yo, the minute that John Jones threw that knee." Like, he got scared pretty much. The minute he threw that knee in the first round, that flying knee, that's where literally Shogun just got, you know, he admitted he got scared pretty much. He was scared of what was going to happen.
Yeah, because Jones, like, that guy is just, he's deadly. He's very deadly with his strikes. I think he likes to be a little bit too flashy sometimes, and I still think that he still hasn't really used his reach to his full capability. But you know, he's scary with those knees and his elbows because that's why his nickname is Bones, man. This guy's like built on bone, man. He ain't like have all these muscles to show off. He's just bony as fuck, man, lanky as hell. And when you get hit with one of those elbows, it hurts more than like if I were to hit you with an elbow because I mostly have muscle in my arms. Like getting hit with pure bone is worse than getting hit by muscle.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And it makes you think now. All right, if he wins this fight, he'll have to fight Gustafsson again.
Yeah.
I mean, the safe thing would be him move up to heavyweight after this. Move up to heavyweight.
See, if he moved up to heavyweight, though, it's just like...
You would have problems, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine him fighting Kane. It'll be a wrap. Kane will just destroy him.
Exactly. Kane would just destroy him. Junior, I think, would destroy him in the boxing department.
Reem would have to train to a different camp. He would have to train to a different train. He'll have to leave Jackson's. Honestly, in all honesty, if I'm Alistair Overeem, I would consider going back to Team Golden Glory. I think when he was there, that's where he was the shit.
Yeah.
That's the Reem that, you know, all of us grew and loved and admired. But yeah, there was all the financial problems and shit. But after that, you know, he went to Miami. And he let the limelight get to him. The whole Miami style.
And the Black Zillions and that wonderful camp.
And that was literally was exposed when he fought Bigfoot. That's when he literally that style of Miami, this and that. This is why, you know, if you're a fighter, the best places to train is in Mexico, high altitude.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's why if I'm Jose Aldo, I would strongly consider, hey, you know what? If you're gonna go up to 155, I would consider training camps. Maybe you can train in Brazil for a while, yes, but then finish off in New Mexico.
And not only that, you know, get away from the Brazilian scene if you're Jose Aldo, because like you live there and you're like a superstar there pretty much, and you do stupid stuff there. Get away from that. Go to New Mexico or Colorado's a great place to train too. The altitude there is just insane. So those would be the two places you should go train, man. Like don't waste your time in fucking Brazil. Like some of these guys, like they need to find different areas to train. Like that's the thing nowadays. Like, you know, people think like if they live in California and they train with Team Alpha Male or with the Diaz's or Tendo sometimes, that you're good. But nah, man, you got to go elsewhere to train, man.
Exactly. Or train with Frankie. Why not?
Yeah, Frankie Edgar in New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, Jersey's fine. Hey, I'm a Jersey guy, so I mean, hey, you know, when he fought BJ, I was happy. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's Jersey and all that, but at the same time, it's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That third fight, like, damn.
The third fight, yeah, that was sad, man. I'm glad BJ Penn's retiring after that, man. Like, I just don't know how he can. Like, I've never seen a fighter just get dismantled in his last 3 fights of his life, man. Like, first with Diaz, and then Rory killed him, and now Frankie just destroyed the fuck out of him.
I'll say this, though. You put BJ in his prime. Oh, BJ in his prime would have killed Frankie Edgar.
Yeah, the thing with BJ Penn is he was always a really great fighter. It's just that he never took his career when he was in his prime super seriously. That's why BJ Penn sometimes doesn't go down as like one of the all-time greats in MMA history. Like he's definitely top 10, but like he could have been a top 5.
Hall of Fame bound. He's gonna be. I'll say this too. You know, I know this year Pat Miletich been in the Hall of Fame, and don't get me wrong, I got love for Pat Miletich being the first welterweight champion, all you want. But I felt because this was BJ's final fight, he should have gone in.
Oh, I thought he was going to go in this year too. Yeah, exactly.
That should have been BJ's moment. You know what? If this is going to be it, put him in.
Yeah, exactly. BJ, yeah, but like I said, BJ Penn, I just feel like in his prime years, he never took them seriously because I remember one time he fought like what? Didn't he fight Lyoto Machida at 205?
Yeah, I think he was fighting him.
Yeah, it's like why are you fighting Lyoto Machida for, BJ? Calm down.
Yeah, you know, it's a fighting, you know. Come on now, you know, I got the fight, you know, and no playing around, no horsing around, you know. Gabe Rudiger, gotta get back in the sauna, man. Come on, you gotta make the weight. Come on, Gabe. I told him, you know, this is not a game. You know, I told him this is not a game, and he wanted to horse around, and look what happened. I'm sure you've seen the Ultimate Fighter clip with Gabe Rudiger.
Oh yeah.
Where he's in the sauna or whatever, he's trying to make the weight, like, put me back in. Put me back in. Put me back. Yeah, I can make the weight. I can do it.
I have that season on DVD. So yeah.
And he was like, he was weighing at what, like 157, 159. All he had to do was drop 4 pounds, 3 pounds, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Let you fight 156. Let you fight 156. Yeah, I can do it. I can do it.
I've been in the same boat before when I had to cut for wrestling. I remember one time it was like I just came off football, and football they want you big, so I was like 205, and then my coach was all like, "Hey, can you make 189?" And I'm like, "What? No." And then he's like, "Oh, don't worry, you have a couple days to make it." And so I was like, "Coach, I can't make this tournament. There's no way I'm gonna make 189." And so he's like, "Oh, we'll weigh you in tomorrow." So after practice, after sweating my balls off in practice, when I weigh in, I'm at 201. He's like, "Okay, you're gonna make 189 just fine tomorrow." And I'm like, "The fuck are you smoking? I'm not gonna make 189 tomorrow." And I literally that night and the whole fucking day was chewing gum, spitting as much as I can, peeing out as much as I can. I was just getting rid of everything and anything that was weight. I was grumpy as hell, and I weighed in that day 191, and I barely made it. So it's terrible.
And where were you at before the cut? Where were you at?
201.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so I cut 10 pounds.
No, but before the training. You told me you had the train and you were at 201, but before that, though. Before that, you were at...
205. I was at 205.
Not bad. But when you fight, though, you're not fighting at 189. You're probably fighting back to regular weight.
Oh yeah, no. I fucking, like, downed, like, this, like, Pizza Hut, like, fucking sandwich. I just downed that shit. And I didn't even warm up with the wrestling team. I was like, fuck this shit, man. This is a JV tournament. I'm not trying during this.
I mean, I've done wrestling, but I wasn't part of the team. What happened was I was cool with the coach.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, high school, I had bad grades. I was one of the people, at that group, whatever, right? So the coach like, because he was cool with me, but he let me train with the team. He let me train with them, but it wasn't like I was part of the actual team, if you get what I mean. I didn't compete,
Yeah.
But in a way, it was cool though. You know what I'm saying? It was cool in a way.
Dole meets are really fun, especially when you get to do them. Like those are the best part of wrestling is dole meets.
Yeah. Until this day, I still got a mean double leg. Until this day. It's been years I've been in high school.
I've never been a double leg takedown guy. I've always been like throwing. Like I use like the head and arm takedowns and stuff like that. I like to throw and trip people.
That's who. And my friend apparently on Facebook, he posted a picture. He took a picture with Oscar De La Hoya today.
Oh, De La Hoya. Was he wearing pantyhose?
No. The thing is, my friend, right? He's big. He is in the YBC.
Oh, YBC.
YouTube boxing community. Yeah, he's big on that. So he had interviews with Freddie Roach, and he went to Philly. Oh, yeah, to Philly this week to record Danny Garcia.
Oh, Danny.
The cherry picker.
Yeah.
And it's sad, like tomorrow this fight, he's fighting a bum. Let's face it.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, I didn't even know he was fighting until like I saw on the internet. Like, I was like going on what was it called? I think I was on UFC, and then they said Danny Garcia was fighting. I'm like, who the fuck is he fighting? And then I saw the dude. I was like, who the fuck is this?
It's funny because it's funny, right? It's funny because if you go, because I posted a picture on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a picture of them two, like, side by side, taking the picture, whatever. You see Danny all in the suit with the belt, Z-Rod Soccer, his blue jeans and a white T-shirt. and the snapback, like, yeah, I'm here. Sad,
I'm ready to get my ass kicked.
Yeah, and literally, if you go on his Instagram, if you go on Danny Garcia's Instagram, every picture that he has, people are posting cherry emojis.
Wow.
Let me find this. Hold on. Let me find this. An example of what I'm talking about here. Just look what I mean. This is Danny Garcia's comments. Look at this. Oh, shit. All them cherries. Cherries. This is a cherry picker. This is an example of a fighter who only cares about his brand, not his legacy.
Yeah, man. Like,
that's a shame.
Like, how old is Danny Garcia? Is he like in his young 20s?
I think so. Yeah, he's young.
Yeah.
He's young.
Dude, I remember when a young Floyd was fucking like challenging like all these tough guys. Like at the time, who was that? What was
Morales.
his name? Yeah, Morales. When he was challenging Morales, man, Morales was a bad dude, and he fucking made Morales look silly in that fight. That was like my first Floyd fight. That's when I became a Floyd fan because I watched that fight. I was like, man, this Mayweather kid, he's good, but he's not Morales good, and Morales got his ass whipped, man. And Floyd even challenged Gotti, when Gotti was hot, man. So it's like, get your shit together, man. Come on.
It was funny today. I was watching, on YouTube, I go on random stuff, and I was watching Legendary Nights from HBO. It was him and Ward. Arturo Gotti Ward. It's just the trilogies and shit. It's amazing,
Yeah, Mickey Ward and
it's amazing.
Gotti. Those are great fights.
Exactly.
Great fucking fight.
That first fight they had, their first fight, that was just amazing. You know what I'm saying? But
I love their second one more. I don't know why. I always like the second one more than the first one.
I think the first one, round 9, that just tells you all.
Yeah.
Probably the best fight in boxing till this day. That I've seen so far. But what was I gonna tell you also? Yeah. So, at the end of the day, with Danny Garcia, it's one of those things where I did hear he wants to go up to 147. I don't know, to be honest. Who is he gonna face? He has Canelo potentially.
Yeah, Canelo and him would be a big fight.
Did you watch the fight with Lara?
Yeah, that was a good fight. I was surprised how well Lara did against Canelo in a way, because I didn't expect Canelo to come in and just steamroll against Lara. I thought he would have a little bit of trouble. I was surprised that it went to split decision though. I thought Canelo won that UD for sure. I didn't see split.
Here's my thing, right? People need to understand one thing. Like, you don't win a fight by running. You don't.
Yeah.
This is boxing. This is not track. I think what Lara did, to prepare, he watched tapes of Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyotes. He watched, some tapes on Usain Bolt. Maybe that's what I think he saw. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I think he prepared for. But I just felt like what he tried to imply didn't really work.
Yeah, he was trying to do like Floyd Mayweather's technique, but like a lot like lesser. He wasn't like doing what Floyd does. Like Floyd at least gets like at least 4 or 5 jabs in. He only would go like 1, 2, 3 deep, and then he would just back off and run away from it. It's like, dog, man, you're giving Canelo better ring control there, man.
The thing also is the fact that, you know, he was not able to adapt. I'll give you an example. Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Marcos Maidana. It's funny, we look at the wrestling fan, we lost him. We're talking about combat sports. Yeah, we're lost. We don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But the thing is, though, right? The thing is, when he fought Marcos the first time, Marcos was given to him for like, what, 6 rounds? And so Floyd adapted. That's what makes fighters. You adapt to the situation that you're in. Now I'm not implying that in the second fight, you know, Marco Maidana could do the same shit. I don't think he is.
No, dude. Floyd's going to be ready for that this time. Like, see, the thing about the Floyd and Maidana fight that I always want to tell people is, like, Maidana was hitting the air more times than he was hitting Floyd, man. Like, he threw so many punches and barely hit any of them. That was just sloppy-ass boxing by Maidana. Like, I can see where people said Maidana beat Floyd, but if I was judging boxing just by some idiot hitting air, then yeah, man, Maidana beat Floyd. But overall, at the end of the day, I thought Floyd won that fight.
The way I view it is, it was close in the sense of, okay, if you take the element of a boxing fight, it wasn't a boxing fight. You take the elements of there's no gloves, there's just even the ring, just a regular fight.
Yeah.
You would say, yeah, Maidana won.
Oh yeah, if it was a street fight, Maidana won.
He was aggressive, but then again, that's the way you gotta fight Floyd. I mean, you're not gonna go in there and try to fight him like Robert Guerrero or try to be there like Alvarez in the middle. You have to get him on the ropes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear stories of Oscar de la Hoya, you know, made the blueprint. I don't want to hear that.
No,
I don't want to hear that. To me, who started the blueprint were Miguel Cotto.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Miguel Cotto, Maidana in a way. I don't think de la Hoya even touched him in any shape or form.
Yeah,
people even still say, you know, what about Pacquiao Mayweather, man? We're gonna see that fight. It's not happening.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen. Another guy I would say gave a blueprint to Floyd was Sugar Shane Mosley. I don't think Shane Mosley gets a lot of credit, for what he did to Floyd in the first 2 rounds. You know, he made Floyd look silly in those first 2 rounds when they fought.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But the problem with it is only those 2 rounds.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, those, you can watch that, his footwork and stuff like that. And if Sugar Shane was actually Sugar Shane back in 5 years ago facing Floyd today, I think he could have won that fight.
It was funny because Larry Merchant at the time was like, you know, Shane Mosley is fighting like his age. In the commentary, he looks like he's fighting like his age.
Yeah,
at the time, pretty much. Oh, apparently I got an article here from Chris here regarding Del Rio.
Oh, Alberto.
WWE posted a tweet here. Let's get back to some wrestling a little bit. You see, we're not. And apparently, here's
technically Alberto is an MMA fighter, so we're still in combat sports.
Yeah, those caras. Yeah,
that's true.
He fought Miracle Crow Cop and got his ass back.
And he actually fought in a mask too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta remember, it was Pride. It was Japan. You know, Pride was different. All right, so apparently WWE wrote 2 tweets. Viva Del Rio is responsible for his own actions. If you're angry at anyone, be angry at Alberto. The second tweet, there is no excuse for a pro athlete to conduct themselves in a professional manner.
See, I don't know if this Del Rio situation's real or if it's a work, man, because, like, normally when they release someone, they barely mention what the motherfucker did, and, like, they're really making this a big deal, so it could be a work, but at the same time, I don't think the WWE would be smart enough to think of it as a work. And also, Del Rio, I heard, was 1 foot out the door, but who knows? Maybe he got a sweet deal from the WWE, and he's going to stay with the company. This is actually an interesting situation. As for Del Rio, I didn't care for him, in all honesty. I think he's a good worker, but I just didn't really care for him. So him getting released wasn't like the end of the world to me. I wasn't like, oh no, Del Rio's gone. I'm going to cry in my sleep. It was more like, whatever, Del Rio got released, LOL. So it was just whatever.
I mean, again, it sucks that this happened. You know what I mean? In a way, like the way he went. Like, I don't mind him leaving. That's fine. If you want to leave, you can leave. But not in that term, though. Because there's some bullshit with some guy that worked behind the scenes, and I slapped him. I did the diva move, not the man move, a punch. You know, if you're gonna go out, You know, go out like a man, punch him.
Yeah, dude. But I heard. See, that's another thing too, because I always hear people say Del Rio like he's one of the locker room leaders. Like Drew McIntyre. I remember in an interview he recently did. They said like he was like, yeah, you don't want to fuck with Del Rio. We call him El Presidente in the locker room, man. Like he's like that one guy that you just don't want to fuck with. Like that was an interview that Drew McIntyre said, and I was just saying to myself like, you know, Del Rio, if he wanted to, he could have just punched this motherfucker in the face. Like I also heard someone said that there was some racist terms being said, and that wouldn't surprise me coming from the WWE, that if they were being racist towards Del Rio.
Oh,
So,
apparently back in catering, whatever. Some guy clean it. That's Del Rio's job. And I mean, again, you know, I agree. Listen, if you're gonna fuck him, then fuck the other guy too.
yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? You can't be completely one-sided thing. You know what I mean? But again, if he's gone, so be it. I'm sure he'll go back to Mexico after the 90 days. The last thing he wants to do is go to TNA.
Well, I think AAA is going to be his main option because, you know, he recently moved from Florida to Texas, so that way he'd be closer to Mexico. So I think that would be his best option, would be AAA, especially with AAA being partnered by Global Force. You know, Global Force ever gets a TV deal, I mean, you already got New Japan superstars, and now you got AAA superstars and Del Rio, like versus like, you know, the names that you could just think of, like Styles and Del Rio versus Daniels, Del Rio versus whatever, man. Those are good matchups, man. So, you know, he's definitely going to make money outside the WWE. I definitely think he'll make a lot of money outside the WWE. It's just a shame that, you know, the WWE messed up on his character. I mean, he was a guy that a lot of people were saying, like, oh, he's like the next Eddie Guerrero. I didn't see that with him. I just felt that he was just another generic Mexican for them. But, you know, he had some success, and you know, he's also a former 4-time world champion. This is not like some bum that they released. He's an actual successful superstar. He's like a Royal Rumble winner, and he's a Money in the Bank winner. I mean, like, this guy is not some bum, so it's such a shame that, like, they ruined a top star that they potentially could have for their company. And now they really have to hope they get Kalisto up onto the main roster ASAP, because you don't have the real.
Apparently, he's going to be with a tag team, him and Sin Cara or Sin Hunico.
Yeah, Sin Hunico, yeah.
They'll be both teaming up soon. So if that happens, hey, you need tag teams too. You need tag teams also.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, all you have right now are the Wyatts and Usos and the Dust Brothers.
What about Slater Gator?
Yeah, don't talk about Slater Gator.
All you need now for the Dust, all you need is Dusty Road. Come out as old Dust. Put some powder on the fucking spot in his stomach, and you're good.
Oh,
to go.
really, dude?
Put some spot on the stomach.
And then like his gimmick is, man, like he shoots like dust out of his ass, man. You know, Stardust like blows dust out of it. He farts and dust comes out of his ass, man. That's how I would book it, man. It sounds like a winner to me.
Indeed.
Yeah, but I feel bad for ADR, man. But also, you know, that's good for WWE budget cuts, because I'm pretty sure he was getting paid like a lot of money. So that's good for their budget cuts.
Like we were saying earlier, wrestling right now as a whole is in a rough spot right now.
Yeah.
The network is kind of WWE's enemy as well right now.
Yeah, I feel like ever since the network has released, that the WWE has just lost sight of what they want to do with their company in a way, because like, you know, I was saying like in my review that, you know, the network's problem is not the price or the content on the network, it's the content that you're producing to us on your weekly shows, WWE. I mean, it's not good stuff, man. I swear, I think we've only gotten 6 good Raws this year and 1 truly great Raw this year. And that's sad. Out of all the Raws that you think of the weeks, that only 6 of them are considered good. You know, I'm not adding all the decent and mediocre Raws. I'm talking about just plainly good episodes that you can sit down for 3 hours, and you know, it's just not good stuff right now for WWE. And then like they always shoved the network down our throats. Like I remember Elimination Chamber. I knew this show wasn't going to be good when they were talking about NXT Arrival more than Elimination Chamber. Like it was during the Chamber match. Oh, you don't forget to watch the women's title match between Paige and Emma. I'm like, the fuck is this shit? No, you should be focusing on the Elimination Chamber WWE World Heavyweight title match, not some women's match on NXT fucking Arrival. Like the fuck is this shit?
Absolutely. Now with the acquisition of David, Kenta, and Steen potentially, I'll say this right now. You know, NXT can be their own brand.
Yeah, no. Well, NXT has been its own brand since 2012, man. Like,
No, but like they're official. Like because here's the thing about it. We always hear like the stories. I even said it earlier in this podcast. Even in my videos, I even say it too. People complain, when someone signs to WWE, they get sent to developmental for 2 to 3 years and they get watered down and all that. But reality is,
it's not
there's exposure through the network. There's exposure.
Yeah, no.
People know who Tyler Breeze, who Sami Zayn, who Adrian Neville, who the fucking who's that old school tag team that they have, the
Vaudevillains.
The Vaudevillains and all these other guys that are there and women. There's exposure there.
Yeah, no, exactly. NXT, like, in all honesty, when it comes down to it, people bitch and moan about the developmental and, like, these guys are for 4 years. Seth Rollins, he signed in 2010. He was there for 3 years. And, like, a bunch of people because now they're, like, into signing, like, 18-year-old divas all of a sudden. They stay in the developmental until they're 21. So that's 3 years. I mean, you stay in developmental for 3 to 4 years. It's just the bottom line. Some guys are unlucky. Bo Dallas was 18 when he first signed, but they didn't bring him up until he was 24 years old. I mean, it's all on your age. And soon enough, Sami Zayn, he will be on the main roster. And same with Adrian Neville. Like, those two will make it on the main roster. It just takes time. And it's not bad being in developmental because,
it's not at all.
Hey, look at this way. You're getting paid money to train in wrestling. You're getting paid to go there to fucking train. And you're getting the best help you possibly can for your career. And if anything, even if you do get released from NXT, who cares? You never made it into WWE. Hey, at least you got your name out there. And so now all these other organizations are going to overpay for you and pay for your name to come wrestle for them. I mean,
perfect example, Bram.
Yeah, Bram's a perfect example. What's his name? There was Ethan Carter, Derek Bateman, another guy. Here's a perfect example. AJ Styles recently leaving TNA. He's getting paid $1 million plus a year now.
On the Indies,
On the Indies. So, like, it's not bad working on the independents as long as you make your name. Yeah. And guys like Zayn and Neville, who already have that name, now they're just much more on a higher level because now you can promote them like, hey, former WWE superstar Pac, former WWE superstar El Generico. So, not that big of a deal, man. Like,
exactly.
People bitching about developmental, stop, man, because, like, y'all never been in the business. Y'all never know how hard it is to get into developmental. Getting into developmental is like a badge of honor. That's like a badge of honor. You made it there. Good for you. And if you get released, do something about it. Like don't be like Chris Hero and get fucking fat. Go actually do something to like make yourself well known.
I did see the pictures. Damn.
Yeah, dude, it's sad.
It's sad. Yeah, it is like holy crap. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, he took it seriously when WWE said he couldn't get in shape. He's like, I'll show them. I will stay out of shape and still wrestle good matches. He's trying to prove a point or something. I don't know.
No, it's sad though. I mean, that's someone that could have been something. He could have been something, and unfortunately,
he didn't listen.
This is what happened. This is what happens when you don't eat a salad and you choose to eat, McDoubles and quarter pounders and steak and eggs and fucking fucking Slurpees and shit. It happens.
Yeah, I think with Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero, why he got released wasn't more that he was out of shape. I think it was more maybe that he was getting paid more than most developmental superstars because they probably were thinking about moving him up onto the main roster soon, but they just didn't really like his, probably his look for the main roster TV yet. So they were still working him in developmental, and he probably was just getting paid a lot more than most developmental superstars. I would believe he was getting paid a lot more, because like they were thinking Kings of Wrestling with him and Cesaro. So
yeah,
but
absolutely.
Doesn't happen.
All right, well, yeah, man. So next week, bro, you come back in, bro. Next week.
Yes, I will.
For the Go Home show.
Summerfest,
SummerSlam, the network, society, politics, global warming.
Exactly.
This Ebola issue coming in, and
the
everybody run. If you see the Ebola, you run. You run. Shit. They say, don't eat the bushmeat. That's all you gotta do. Pretty much, don't eat the bushmeat. Fuck. But anywho, yeah, guys, we thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank In the Rope Show Matt and Chase Oliver for making a special appearance.
Yes.
And next week we'll come back in, talk some more wrestling, talk some more combat sports, and a lot of fun stuff on the Go Home show to SummerSlam.
Yes, SummerSlam 2014, baby.
Who knows? Yes. Will you be in California? Will you be in LA for that? Will you be in LA or?
I was gonna go to the show, but for me personally, it's like I just paid for school and books, so that's more important. And so I don't really have the funds to I could go to SummerSlam if I wanted to, but I just don't want to waste like probably $40 to drive to LA. I'm going to the roster reveal. I'm going to one of their panels. I'm going to the roster reveal. One of my friends got an extra ticket, so he's taking me to that, and so I'm going to go to that thing.
You doing a damn live vlogger?
No, I don't have a flip camera on me anymore. Otherwise, I would. But no, I'm just going to go have some fun.
I know what you mean too, bro. I mean, school's first, and especially in my case, I don't have financial aid, so I'm paying everything out of pocket, books, classes, and shit. Yeah, bro, that's what happens. Yep. But it happens, you know. And the good thing about it, though, I get the money back in February. I get it back, taxes.
That's fair enough.
Just show them your receipts, and bam, there you go. I get the money back. But this wraps up episode 53. I want to thank Matt from In the Robe Show and Chase Oliver. Chase, before you go, do you want to promote your social media?
Twitter at ChaseOliver68, my homie Chase Bolivar at Chase Bolivar, my alter ego, and YouTube.com/Chase Oliver, because YouTube can't let me use Chase Oliver68 anymore for some reason.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I know.
As always, guys, I'm Heel Steven. You can follow me on Twitter at Heel Steven. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Heel Steven. Also, subscribe to this channel. We stream every week. Give you some wrestling thoughts and point of views, if you will. A lot of fun stuff. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Gotcha Podcast. Like the Facebook page, Wrestling News Talk, and also subscribe to TRN Talking Wrestling Network. Episode 1 of the Saturday Night Shoot will debut tomorrow on TRN, myself, and Knowledge of Wrestling.
Sorry. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at HandWalter and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Knowledge of Wrestling.
And you can check me out on the YouTube channel, Dual Dream 2K26. And I just want to make a quick shout out to my wrestling fed I work for, RWA. Next, tomorrow, we're going to have our biggest show of the year called Legacy 7. If you're in the New England area, please stop by and check us out at the East Providence Rec Center in 100 Bullocks Point Avenue in East Providence, Rhode Island. Tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for kids. And I'll be in the show in a tag team battle royal for the tag team championships. I hope I get those back.
All right, there you go.
That's better pricing than NWA Hollywood. They let people in for free in NWA Hollywood.
And with that, guys, we are out like Janice Titties. Peace.
See ya.